Everybody doing? Happy Labor Day, everybody. I hope you are in your comfy clothes. I am. And yeah, picked up this one. Got the book about a year ago. Just a fascinating read about just the history of work, right? I hope you're surrounded by people that and things, right, that are just giving you pleasure today. Because today we're not just celebrating the day off. I hope you have the day off, right? I think we're exploring just a fundamental question that separates those high performers from everybody else. And I just want to double down on it today and dive into the here's the question. Here's the question I want you to ponder. Maybe it's how we need to renew our minds. I spend time most every morning. Um, had some family in town this morning, but most every morning I like to just sit in the quiet of the morning and watch that sun come up and hear the birds and just catch up on my thinking to renew my mind, to put truth in and to eviscerate all things that are not true. So important because if you're a scroller, if you spend more time on that iPad than you do doing other healthy things, yeah, you just get bombarded. The stuff that comes in isn't as healthy as just renewing your mind. So I want to renew. I have give you something to think about in terms of renewing your mind. Here's the question: Do you rest? Do you actually rest from work, or do you work from rest? That's a heavy question. Do you rest from work? Get to the end of a weekend or end of a work week and just come in for a crash landing? Or do you work from rest? Most people rest from work. That's just the reality, right? We grind all week and then absolutely just nosedive into a recliner or a Netflix or something on a Friday. But the highest performers, they work from rest. And that distinction makes all the difference in the world. So let me share what the research tells us. At High Performance Group, we are digging into the research all the time to figure out the highest players within every sector. What are they doing different to stay the top of their game? We've studied busy. They're all busy, right? There's none that are like busier. Everybody's busy. That's by default. Demanding environments, that's also by default. We're discovering something that's just fascinating about most productive days of the best leaders. The data is really, really clear. Leaders who start from a place of intentional rest and renewal, renewing the mind, consistently outperform their peers who are operating out of depletion. And you just see it everywhere. I walk through airports on a weekly basis, and you just see people that are just taken out, just taken out. And we do stupid things when we're taken out. When we're low on energy, when we're low on just fitness, when we're low on hope, when we're low on emotional fortitude, we do stupid things, which just makes things worse. Worse. Stanford shows that well-rested leaders make 23% better decisions. And if there's one thing that you have to do to keep your preferred parking space, boss, right? You got to make great decisions, right? And that only can come from a rested mind that works more from a posture of brilliance, right? Than busyness. HBR, Harvard Business Review, found that leaders who prioritize renewal, they see 31% more productivity in their team. So you have this influence, not just to yourself, but you have this influence across the waves to your team as well. So here's what Labor Day really teaches us. It's not about taking the day off. The original Labor Day movement wasn't just fighting for rest. It was fighting for the principles that Human beings, right, need renewal to do their best work, right? I love Labor Day. It's a great reminder. They understand something that we've forgotten. That sustainable performance comes from working from rest, not resting from work. Are you hearing me loud and clear? Hear me loud and clear, because this is so important as we're kicking off September now. Your most important work is done across teams, most certainly across teams, but it comes from a place and a posture of being well rested coming into the work. So when you work from rest, you're operating from a place of just mental clarity instead of just that fog that sets in, and everybody has this fog and it's becoming so normalized. You have the emotional stability instead of just that reactivity. Right? You can think about issues from a macro standpoint. You can think about your thinking, which more and more leaders need to be doing today, because we're there's not a cartographer that has written a map, right, for today's reality of, okay, here's how best practice. You've all heard me just trashing best practice. There's no such thing as best practice today. It's better practices by brilliant leaders who are well rested, right? Who have that physical energy instead of remember the Cheerios commercial? Oh, wee, right? We need that Cheerio type of energy, boss, that leads to a creative flow, and instead of just that forced effort. Right? You can tell when you're there. You can tell when your people are there, right? The difference isn't just personal. It's very, very measurable. Our research shows that leaders who master this approach, they're going to see 40% improved decision quality. Again, your most important thing that you do as a leader is to make fantastic decisions on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. And that ain't happening, boss, unless you're well rested. And no longer is it this badge of honor that says, you work late until Friday, you worked on projects all weekend, and you came, stumbling into Monday morning, and there are no awards for being stupid. Okay. Coming into the work week not rested, it's just stupid when you consider the impact of your work that you must have to change, just the level of health of your culture and the reliability of your system. Don't play that game anymore. Okay. Let's renew our minds. So here's a real practical exercise. I think about a 5-star day, and this is actually a workshop that we teach. That it's a 2-hour workshop. I'm going to not make this the dance version. What's the opposite of the dance version? We're going to take a 2-hour and just put it into about 2 minutes. Okay. 5-star day. Right. You're just going to give your best day ever a 5-star, but those days are very, very intentional. Those days are filled with star one, your health. You're doing something to personally recharge, preferably at the beginning of the day, right? So that you are just in a good place when you come screaming into work during the day. So, star one, your health, your health. Star two is your family, just full commitment to those closest relationships to you. How intentional are you about star one, your health? Star two, your family. Star three is your people. That's just the daily interactions with colleagues and associates. It's the stuff that just comes really, really natural. The people. Star four is the work. You have job tasks that oftentimes bring you joy and energy if you are working from a place of worthy work, right? So that's star four is your work. And star five is your focus. That's that intentional concentration time for your most important work where you can shut the door and focus on getting a to do actually to done. So, star one is your health. Star two is your family. Star three is the people. Star four is the work. And star five is your focus. Now, did you notice anything? Maybe not, because I went really kind of rapidly there. Three of these things, they're about your health, your family, and your focus. Yeah, these are the ones we typically neglect and just say, well, it's a busy week. And then it becomes a busy month. And then it was a busy year. And then it's a busy decade where you neglect your health, your family, and your focus. Those three things taken away guarantee your influence is going to be diminished, boss. Right? So here's your Labor Day challenge. Rate yourself 1 to 10 in each of those 5 stars. Okay. Which ones are you neglecting? Be honest with yourself. The highest performers, they don't excel at the work, right? Star 4 all day long. They master all 5. Okay. Every star, every day. Every star, every day. They understand that working from rest means actually intentionality, investing in the renewal categories, renewing my mind in terms of my health, renewing my mind in terms of how do I best serve and be available to my family, renewing my mind and knowing, okay, um, the people. Who amongst the people do I need to spend a little bit of time with today? Renewing my mind to know that my priorities and my work need to get done, right? And renewing my mind, knowing that every day, I often say that the best leaders that I've ever talked to, they have the 20% rule. 20% rule. 20% of their day or their week is that star 5 focus, where they can actually be the strategic leader that their agency, their campus, their district, whatever it happens to be, their company hired them to do. 20% of your time, that's an hour a day. That's a day a week where you're focused, okay, on your most important work instead of I don't have my 40X book here, but you know what I'm going to talk about, the whirlwind, right? So, hey, if this resonates with you, if you want to stop resting from work and start really working from rest, doing it the right way, we dive deep into these transformational topics every single month. Um, we have what we call a virtual leadership and campus institute, but we also have the live leadership and campus institute where we come to you and work with your leadership teams. This is transformational stuff. And if you are depending on your leaders, if you're depending on the boss to change the system, it ain't going to happen. Let's just be real. Boss, take serious stock in this. Yes, you need to make great decisions. And one of the best decisions you can make is to have highly impactful team development happening around your most potent leadership challenges. So, how is that happening? Most often, it's not. All of you agree. The research is very, very clear that professional development is needed. Upwards to 90%. Check that box every time I put my polls out, and we hire panels all the time to do research for us. 90% of you agree that professional development must happen to build the capacity of the people. Only 12% really have a plan to see it happen. That's a gap. That's a terrifying gap. And that's a gap that is having many of your best people sneaking out the back door and going to cultures that actually occlude that gap and have very, very practical team engagement activities that build capacity of teams, right? Beyond just that leadership ceiling that all leaders have, right? Doing the 4X important work that teams must do to change a very broken system. So, and that's not a disparaging remark to you as leaders. Our system needs a lot of work, and it's only the healthiest leaders that can have access to the brilliant competence and the credibility and all of the things that we need to do with good character to change the system for better. Because you know what? I look across the curb anytime I'm on a campus. I look across the curb and I say, that's why, because your community deserves it. right? They deserve that your team is the healthiest, your system is the most reliable. So today, yeah, you're taking the day off, but let's kind of renew the mind and think about how you should be approaching every day, right? If you'd like to explore how the either the virtual Leadership and Culture Institute or the live Leadership and Culture Institute might be a good decision for you, boss. Um, yeah, these are monthly. It's not a one-off. I don't believe anything good. I don't know. We could probably argue that. Not going there, but yeah, one-offs. It doesn't scale. We're going to build your credibility. We're going to build your and equip your team's capacity to drive really healthy culture and highly reliable systems. And it must happen on a regular monthly drip with other higher performing leaders. So if that's something you'd like to just explore, go to the webpage, higherperformancegroup.com, and click up in the upper right-hand corner, Get Started. Higherperformancegroup.com, upper right-hand corner, Get Started. Should have you on your way. Hey, Happy New Year. I hope you're, again, just resting really, really well because your people are counting on you tomorrow. The choice is yours. Let's make it count. Happy Labor Day, everybody.